So the Batman universe won't deal with mythical elements or monsters. Let's talk about it. So recently, as Matt Reeves has been doing press for the new Penguin show, which is coming out, which, by the way, I will be reviewing on the channel, so make sure you're subscribed if you're not already. Basically, a bunch of information about the universe, about different side characters have been coming out, stuff about different corners of the universe, and directions that we could see the character of Batman, or any of the characters really, could go in the future of the universe. We've had information, for example, the Batman is going to be a trilogy. We know the story told in the Penguin show originally was meant to be in the Batman 2, but by far the most controversial piece of news that has come out in this whole scope of the Penguin releasing on HBO is the fact that the Batman won't ever deal with mythical monsters or just cosmic entities like Batman does in the comics. Now, why is this controversial? This upset people because Batman obviously has joined the Justice League in the comics, and the Justice League most of the time deal with cosmic entities. Not only that, this eliminates certain Batman villains from the equation, ones that are a little bit more monsterish or mythical. This eliminates the likes of Man-Bat or Clayface, or maybe even to a certain extent characters like Bane as well. And that obviously only leaves villains like the Riddler or the Joker, as we've seen in the actual Batman film, or of course the mobsters like the Penguin or Carmine Falcone, characters like these. And it is now being confirmed that Batman will only fight these types of characters in the Batman 2 and in the Batman 3. And the reason for this decision is that it's a stylistic choice with the type of universe and the type of stories that Matt Reeves wants to tell. So he wants to tell a very grounded story in this universe for this character. He doesn't want Batman to face off against anything that goes against the stylistic nature of the universe, which is very gritty, very dark, very grounded, very cemented in realism. There aren't many mythical elements as there would be in the Batman comics or in DC comics in general. So there won't be any Darkseid, there won't be any Superman, Justice League, there won't even be, for example, maybe a Lazarus Pit from the League of Assassins, which we know play a huge role in Batman's history. And this upset a lot of people because people really like these elements of the Batman character, and to a certain extent a lot of these elements make the Batman character who he is from the comics and many other successful adaptations, and Matt Reeves and the team are going to be taking that away. However, I don't think this is such a bad idea, and the reason for that is in two words: James Gunn. Now, we know James Gunn has a DC universe that he is currently making. Of course, he is currently making Superman Legacy, or as it's now called, Superman, and it will be a part of the first chapter, quote unquote, for his DC universe. And what is that first chapter called? It's called Gods and Monsters. And guess what? There is a Batman film in chapter 1, Gods and Monsters, which is The Brave and the Bold. So obviously we're going to be seeing more mythical, more monstery elements to a Batman story in James Gunn's universe. And part of the reason, for me at least, I think James Gunn has made that decision to include a Batman film in this kind of Gods and Monsters sort of phase for DC is probably because of the direction that Matt Reeves is actually taking his Batman films as well. We basically get to have the pie and eat it too. We get to make the bed and sleep in it. We get to do all those kind of analogies with Batman because on one hand, we get the really gritty detective-like stories with Matt Reeves. Everything's kind of based in realism. We get all the mob bosses, we get Penguin, we get all that kind of side of the Batman lore. But then with James Gunn's universe, we get a Batman that potentially taps more into those mythical elements and those monstery villains. Like we mentioned, potentially Clayface could appear. Villains like that. And that's why I'm not upset. I'm not annoyed. And quite frankly, I'm actually kind of excited that Matt Reeves is deciding to take the direction with the Batman character in that sort of way. And knowing that James Gunn is going to come along and potentially do something a little bit more mythical, maybe something a little bit more out of pocket, out of the box, that will impress the fans that like those elements, is also really exciting as well, because we know how James Gunn can handle characters with more mythical and cosmic sides. We saw it with the Guardians of the Galaxy, we've seen it with the Suicide Squad, and we're now going to see it with Superman, and we're going to see what he's going to do for that character. Eventually, we're going to see what happens with Batman and the direction that he has paved for that character in his universe. So no, the stylistic choice of Matt Reeves Batman Universe not dealing with the mythical monsters and everything like that doesn't actually upset me. It doesn't make me annoyed. It actually makes me really, really excited, because we get the best of both worlds. For a comic book character that has such a rich history, not just in himself, but in supervillains and side characters such as Batman, you can't touch upon everything in one franchise or in one trilogy. So the fact that we get two Batman franchises that explore different aspects of the character and his lore just is, well, I mean, it's the best of both worlds, really, isn't it? I mean, why should we complain? Either way, let me know in the comments below. Do you sort of not agree with the idea that the Batman won't ever tap into those mythical elements? Or are you happy that that's the case? I want to know all your thoughts. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Take care and peace.